Hey friends, welcome back to Markelly Farm. It's supper time. Kelly is home from work. We're going to make some supper. We're going to make paella tonight. If you've never had it, stick around. It's fantastic. Now, paella translates to English, it means frying pan. So paella is traditionally cooked in a very shallow, big pan. So we're going to use our stainless steel frying pan for this. So let's get some stuff prepared and we'll get it going. We're going to use chicken. We're going to use some of our linguiça sausage and also some shrimp in this dish. So we've got our chicken, which is about 1.5 pound chicken breast, cut into 1-inch cubes. We sliced up our linguiça sausage, and we have our shrimp soaking in water. It's frozen, soaking it to thaw out. So let's season our chicken. So to start with, we're going to do about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Got 1 tablespoon of smoked paprika, 2 teaspoons of dry oregano, and that's about what we have left in our container, and then salt and pepper to taste. I put about 1/2 teaspoon of salt there, and then we're going to go with a couple little shakes of black pepper. Going to give that a good stir, get all of that mixed together. Let that chicken marinate for a little bit while we get everything else together. Okay, in our skillet, we got it heating up. It's been on the fire for about a minute or so. Always do that with a stainless steel skillet before you put your oil in it. And then we're going to go with about another 2 tablespoons of oil in here. Get that around the pan. And to that, we're going to add 1 onion. I'm using our frozen ones from the garden. And then the equivalent of 1 bell pepper. We'll get that softened up. Now, there's as many different recipes for paella as there are people in the world, I think. This recipe is very versatile. You can use any meat you want, any vegetables you want. The only hard, fast rule is the rice. Remember, your rice recipe generally is 1 part rice to 2 parts liquid. So that's the part you have to get right. Anything else, the sky's the limit. So you can scale this up very easily too by just scaling up the rice. If you wanted to go double on the rice, you go 2 cups of rice and of course 4 cups or a full quart of liquid. So very scalable. Now, because our onions and bell peppers are from the freezer, they don't take hardly any time to become translucent. All we're doing is cooking the excess moisture out of it. So we're going to start throwing in some more of our spices. So we want about 3 cloves worth of garlic. We're using our garlic, so that's about an even tablespoon probably. Now the recipe calls for a full teaspoon of crushed red pepper. We're only going to add 1/2 teaspoon because of Kelly's aversion to hot food. Now, a very traditional spice in this dish, and we're doing it a disservice by not adding it, is saffron. But try to find saffron in middle Nebraska. Saffron is a very expensive spice. You don't get very much when you do buy it because saffron comes from the stamens of a flower. It's the little pokey things that stick up out of the middle of a flower. And there's only 3 stamens on the flowers that produce the saffron. So it takes a lot of flour to produce saffron, and it takes lots of labor to gather all that up. So saffron is super expensive, but it's a very good spice, and it adds a beautiful kind of yellow color to your paella. But we're going to have to go without, unfortunately, but if you got it, definitely use it. Our mixture is smelling just really, really good here. So we've got all the liquid pretty much cooked out. So the next thing we're going to do is add our chicken. You want to start with whatever meat takes the longest to cook, and that'll be our chicken in this recipe here. Get all of our good stuff out of here. Our linguiça sausage is pretty much already cooked, so we're going to add that last, and the shrimp will come very last, because shrimp, as you know, cooks super quick. It'll cook basically in when we pour the liquid in the rice. That will be plenty of time to cook the shrimp. Chicken is just about cooked all the way through. So we're going to add our sausage. It's about 1/3 of a pound of our good linguiça sausage. You can add any sausage you like. Smoked sausage would be good. Add your andouille sausage, it'd be pretty much like gumbo. So there we go, we'll get that stirred in and start cooking. You see our paella is looking good, even smells better. The smell coming out of here is absolutely amazing. So even though the meat is almost cooked all the way through, the chicken is releasing liquid, and we want to cook most of that off to where we start getting a little color, or what the sticking in the little, almost in the bottom of the pan, because that's going to give us flavor. So see over here how this get a little color in the pan. We want the bottom of the pan to look like that. And then we'll move to the next step. Okay, we're starting to get some color on the bottom of the pan. I think we've got enough. So now we're going to go in with the rice. And for the rice, you want to use a small round grain rice, like a pearl rice. We're using our boreal rice, which will work very well. Some places have what's called round rice, which is what's used for paella. But our boreal rice is readily available, and you can use it. So we want to stir this up until the rice kind of gets coated with the oil. And then we'll be ready to dump in our 2 cups of our homemade chicken stock. Remember, we have 1 cup of rice. There we go. I think all of our rice is coated. So we'll even this back out in the pan. Make sure we have a pretty good distribution of our rice. And then in goes the chicken stock. All of it goes in. And then we'll kind of just barely stir things around a little bit. Get that rice distributed in our stock, so it all gets cooked. You don't want any rice up on top. We'll get everything we can off of our spoon here. There we go. So we've got it stirred around pretty well. We're going to get our shrimp. Our shrimp we're going to place right on top. And as this simmers, our shrimp will cook. Your shrimp will turn nice and pink in that liquid. Just kind of lay them around the pan a little bit. There we go. So we're going to bring this to a simmer because we're on high right now. Once it comes to a nice simmer, we're going to lower it down, and that rice is going to take about 20 minutes to cook. So you can see we've come to a simmer. We're going to turn down to about a medium low to a low. I'm going about 1 on my burner here because I think low would be too low. And then that's going to cook. Now as this rice pulls up the moisture in that dish, the bottom is going to get kind of dry a little bit, and you'll get it kind of a crusty bottom on the rice as it cooks in the pan, and that's called the socarat. And some people say that's the best part of the paella, is that crispy, almost burnt little layer of rice on the bottom of the pan. You can see how our shrimp are cooking right on top here. Now you also, another thing you want to make sure of when you're cooking, that you're kind of centered on your burner. You don't want to be off to one side or another. You want it to cook nice and even. My big pan, I actually transferred it over to the larger burner on my stove, so it heated a lot more evenly. Okay, we're 20 minutes in on our rice, but we still have a little too much liquid you can see in here. We need to cook a little more liquid out. And then once the liquid gets cooked out, you can come in here with your stir utensil and you can feel it start sticking to the bottom, and that's what you want. Right now our bottom's still nice and clean, so we have a ways to go. You've also noticed we haven't cooked this with a lid on because you don't want to do that. And then you'll see some people too, like in the videos online and stuff, they're constantly stirring this, which is not the proper procedure. You want that bottom to stick because that's really a delicacy. You want that socarat to form on the bottom. Now this skillet's like a 12-inch skillet, so this recipe fits this skillet very well. Now some people will cook paella in a ginormous, big, wide pan, like 4 feet across, sometimes even bigger. And I always thought that would be kind of cool to have a paella pan that size and cook for a big crowd like that. But those pans are very, very expensive. So if you have a interest in doing that, go down to your local welding shop, have them make you a pan. That would be 10 times cheaper than going and buying a paella pan. And most of your pans are wood fired. They're on a metal stand. They burn wood underneath them, but you can go with propane if you had a wide enough burner. That would be pretty cool to be cooking paella for a crowd. Okay, we're getting real close. You see how there's no liquid like boiling up through our mixture anymore? Get the end of your spoon, get down to the bottom. See if you're sticking it all yet. We're getting very close, but I can still feel the bottom of the pan. I don't think we browned any down there yet. Okay, I think we're there, so off goes the flame. We're going to take it off the fire, let it cool just a little bit, then we'll serve it up. We've got about half a cup of parsley we're going to throw on the top here. Going to be yummy. Okay, my friends, the moment of truth. Let's get in here. I like using a good metal spatula so you can get down here and scrape the bottom of that pan. Let's flip this over so we can see that socarat's on the bottom. Look at that. Perfect. See how that's really toasty on the bottom? That's exactly what you want. All right. Look at that, folks. Look at the socarat right there. See that little crispy bottom on that? That is fantastic. Gotta get that crispy bottom. So good, folks. Very, very tasty. Now, you could put cilantro in this too, would be really good. But we have the parsley. So we're going to enjoy supper. We'll see you in a bit. So if you're wondering if that was good, there's your answer. So give that a try. Good stuff. You can change it up however you want. You can go 100 different ways with this dish. So until next time, stay safe, stay healthy. We love you guys. Come back and see us here at the farm. We'll be cooking something else.
Oh, you should have gone to the Costanzas for dinner. The paella was magnificent. Have you ever had really good paella? Not really. Oh, it's an orgiastic feast for the senses. It's a festival of sights, sounds, and colors, and